What's going on, guys and gals of YouTube? It's Anthony of the Primal Crew, and I'm here today with an edition of the Gear Grind. Our podcast series, The Gear Grind, has not been seen in about 3 to 4 months. That is due to a lack of, I don't even want to say it's a lack of passion on my part, but just a lack of attention on my part. Let's just call a spade a spade. But what is the Gear Grind? The Gear Grind is our podcast that discusses anything and everything in the world of Pokemon, from the trading card game to the actual video games itself to the phone app Pokemon Go. Video game series in terms of Sword and Shield, still don't have a Switch. Won't be able to talk too much about that. However, let's start off with our first topic, and it's a downer of a topic to talk about the recent retirement of a legend in the Pokemon pack opening community, or just the Pokemon community itself. Prime Time Pokemon. A lot of you might have known him, might have watched his channel from the very beginning. I am one of those, and he's actually one of the inspirations to what brought me to be a Pokemon opener or pack opener as well. He recently announced on January 1st that he is going to be retiring from YouTube, and it's more so along the lines of the fact that it's just not getting him revenue to make ends meet. He's had to work full-time job or jobs. I think he may have only mentioned one. He's made mention that views have gone down, subscribership has kind of halted, even though he's probably around 400,000 or 500,000 right now. And just his overall outlook on YouTube, since a lot of the changes, has really stunted his passion to do what he does. Obviously, I'm assuming off camera, he'll still be collecting cards. He'll still be purchasing new TCGs. He just will not be opening it up on camera for us. Now, other YouTubers like Leonhard has reached out to his subscribers to head out there and check out his channel and see what they can do to maybe convince him otherwise. I mean, if somebody has been posting day after day after day and has not seen too much in just return for it, you get burnt out very fast. I can say a couple years ago when I started to do this a lot, I can't even say full-time, I was never doing this full-time, but when I started doing this and I was doing it almost every day, every other day, and views, subscribership, likes, and stuff like that weren't going up, it definitely did discourage me. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, this was not my form of income. This is not how I was making ends meet. I was doing this more as a hobby, and it still is a hobby. I work a full-time job for as a lot of you know, and this is more of a hobby for me. It's not something that, puts any kind of food on my table. It doesn't necessarily, make ends meet. It's something I enjoy doing because of inspiration such as Primetime Pokemon, such as a gentleman by the name of Leroy. If you guys know who Leroy is, he's one of the OGs when it came to Let's Plays. If you don't know who he is, then you don't know any of his walkthroughs and how detailed he was. Also, people like Chugga Conroy. Chugga Conroy is probably one of the most detailed freaks when it comes to Let's Plays of any sort, whether it was to Pokemon or to any console game itself. So, if this ever gets out to Primetime Pokemon, listen, I mean, I know it's discouraging. I know this was your passion, maybe still is your passion deep down inside, and it's very discouraging to see your hard work not get recognized. Just know, the people that do watch your channel and watch your videos and like your videos and comment on your videos are the ones that should be, cared about. I'm not going to say oh, you're turning your back on people, because that's not the case. You're not turning your back on anybody. But just know that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to miss you. So hopefully you turn around and maybe take a few weeks or months off and come back. New state of mind. In current Pokemon event news, obviously there have been a lot of events. I know I'm changing from a very, very, serious talk to this now. But let's talk about current events. Obviously, we've had all the December events. Christmas events have already ended. Now we're into New Year's events. And right now we're in the third stage of the Giovanni research, where you can actually go up against Shadow Moltres, the third and final of the bird trio from Generation 1. So if you have not completed that research, I don't know if you lose out the chance on the past tries, but my guess would be yes. Also, January's research breakthrough from January 1st to February 1st will now feature Lapras. Lapras will have, I believe, Ice Shard and Ice Beam for its 2 moves, and of course you get the possibility of getting a shiny from that. Fun fact, out of the research breakthroughs, I've never gotten a shiny, unlike some of my friends who've gotten 3 and 4, and they're casual players. No offense to them, but I play practically every single day. They may not play every day, and they get rewarded for it. Go figure. Also in related news, actually just starting today, is the Adventure Sync hatch, which, let me pull up my game so I can actually read everything from that. An exciting Adventure Sync Hatchathon is back. Ready those incubators. The Adventure Sync Hatchathon starts now and ends Thursday, January 16th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. During the Adventure Sync Hatchathon, you can be rewarded with extra Stardust, rare candies, and a Unova Stone if you walk a certain distance. You can find Pokemon wearing party hats by hatching eggs and encountering Pokemon in the wild too. Specific features for this, you might be able to hatch a Pichu or a Wurmple wearing a party hat from a 2-kilometer egg, and a Pichu wearing the party hat and a 7-kilometer egg. 2-star Rage, you'll have a chance to challenge Raticate and Wobbuffet wearing party hats, and the Wild Pikachu wearing party hats will be available to catch. If you are lucky, you might encounter Shiny Raticate, Shiny Pikachu, Shiny Pichu, Shiny Wobbuffet, and Shiny Wurmple, all of them wearing party hats. Now, as far as I know, the only one that you can encounter in the wild is Pikachu. Wurmple, I guess if you encounter in the wild, is still going to be regular. It's not going to be shiny. That may change after this event. Let's see. Celebrate 2020 with the 2020 specs, now available in the Style Shop. Bonuses, like stated before, 2 times Hatch Candy, 2 times Hatch Stardust. Adventure Sync rewards for walking 50 kilometers is 50,000 Stardust, 15 rare candies, and a guaranteed Unova Stone. So if you're one of those casual players, don't forget to turn your Adventure Sync on so that way you can still get the distance. The distance goes a long way. Trust me, I do it all the time at work and average between 71 and 80 kms all the time. And that is the event so far for this upcoming at least 2 weeks, I believe. Starting January 7th next week will be the start of Heatran being back in raids. And of course, with the return of Heatran, you get his shiny form. His shiny form, his molten red around him is a little bit lighter, and his eyes glow in a purplish pink instead of its orange and red. So do keep a lookout for that. January's Community Day. It does not say on here, and by the way, I'm reading everything from Leak Duck on Instagram. If you guys don't follow Leak Duck on Instagram, please do at instagram.com/LeakDuck. They don't sponsor me, but I love their page. It doesn't say anything on who it is going to be, but my guess is going to be on Piplup, because usually they start with the water starter and then they work their way down to the grass starter and then the fire starter. And then in January 2020, Unova. Okay. Okay. Long story short, because I suck with English. More Pokemon for the Unova region might be coming soon. Keep your eyes peeled. Excuse me, not peaked. And based off of the new loading screen, there is a possibility that we're going to get some Pokemon like Sewaddle, Axew, who has the evolutionary line of Fracture and Haxorus. Haxorus is the pseudo Pokemon from 5th generation. And the Scolipede line, which I believe is Whirlipede, Venipede, Whirlipede, and Scolipede. And I can't wait for that, because I actually really like the Scolipede line. It was annoying to ever battle with when I used to do like battling during the X and Y era. And it's, annoying now, I would assume. That's it for any of the new event Pokemon or new events in Pokemon Go. It's been a while since I've recorded. Give me your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think of the events and the past events as well. And now I wanted to move into the shiny, or not shiny change, the shadow Pokemon that have changed recently. Before, we had the shadow Pokemon of, I believe it was Meowth. Hold on. I'm very terrible at remembering this, and I usually write down everything. But in this case, I don't. For your main Pokemon of Sneasel, Meowth, and I believe... God, I'm missing one so bad right now, and I can't remember which one it is. Anyways, let me talk about the change now. Obviously, we've had a change in that, where we now have Pokemon of Absol, Bagon, and at one point or another, it was Delibird. But I don't know if that's changed now that the Christmas event is over. I have not found... Or no, excuse me, Stantler. Stantler was the other one. It was Stantler, it was Bagon, and it was Absol. It was never a Delibird. That was just a rumor. Sorry. I'm assuming all three of those still stay the same. 2 out of 3, you get the opportunity of getting a shiny. I don't hear anybody ever... Actually, no. Yeah, no, all 3 of them have their shiny possibilities. Excuse me. Disregard that. I don't necessarily go after the Team Go Rocket leaders that often. I like the change, personally, because it gives people more of a reason to go after these team leaders other than to complete the Giovanni quest. And it gives opportunity to get shinies that you may not necessarily may not be able to normally go after in raids, such as Absol. Absol, you can't do a solo unless you're some crazy person. And even a duo may not necessarily be able to defeat it either. Trust me, I've tried. So, I do like that. Stantler was a staple for this Christmas because everybody wanted Jingle Bell Stantler. And if you were able to get the Shadow one, it didn't have the Jingle Bells, but a green, shadowy reindeer was kind of cool. And then, of course... if you have a Shadow Bagon that you eventually evolved into a Shadow Salamence, or even a shiny Shadow Salamence, nuts. I just think that also looked awesome. Now I'm going to switch things up, and I'm going to go into a little bit of a topic that I wasn't actually sure if I was going to talk about right away. Obviously, there's been a lot of change in how YouTube looks at things. Even going along the lines of fining or charging people if their content is not family friendly. Now, there's been a lot of talk about some YouTubers not being able to do YouTube anymore, maybe moving on to different platforms. I know a lot of people that used to stream on YouTube or even on Twitch for that matter now are going over to YouTube Gaming. Not YouTube Gaming, excuse me. Facebook Gaming, not doing that. But a lot of people have asked me, even though I haven't recorded in a while, what's my future? What am I going to be doing? Am I going to stay on YouTube or am I going to move over to another process? Answer to that is I might eventually in the future move completely over to Twitch, or I might do both. I might do live streaming on Twitch. I might do recordings on YouTube. So it really depends if, things get into that really sticky situation where people get fined that 5-figure amount that makes absolutely no sense. But then again, a lot of people are saying that they're not actually going to charge people that because it's a non-profit organization that's doing this. And are they really going to go after somebody like me who only has 1,400 subscribers? Probably not. If they're going to go after anybody, they're going to go after the heavy hitters, and they're going to leave me alone. But that's, neither here nor there. Can't confirm, can't deny anything. All that there is to say is stay tuned. And now I wanted to talk about... now I really wanted to talk about something that was boiling in my mind for a while. I'm not going to name names, but I am going to make mention about a certain Pokemon YouTuber in San Francisco that, does things the wrong way. Let's just call a spade a spade. He does things the wrong way, if you ask me. When you think Pokemon YouTuber, you think about somebody that travels around, that does different things. I mean, look at people like Mystic7, JT Gilly, Pokemon Master Holly, the cruise ship, JT Valor. I love watching his stuff, even though it kind of makes me cringe when he does as many raids as he does, and he complains every single time that he doesn't get it, but then he gets something else. Whole nother story, but you get my idea. You also got people like smaller YouTubers, I don't have their names unfortunately written down, that go about things the right way. And I even commented on another Pokemon themed YouTuber and asked them how they felt about people utilizing spoofers to complete raids, but then also using said spoofers to use that for content. To say that you did 20 legendary raids a day, or in a single day, while you're recording the camera and you have nobody next to you except for people that are just walking by, that's very, very, far-fetched to me, not to use a Pokemon pun. But it's kind of disrespectful if you think about it, because you're expecting people to watch your content and say that you've worked hard for all of these, when all you really did was you traveled around either on foot or on a scooter that you rented in the city to travel from raid to raid, and you completed all these raids, and some of your spoils are shinies. Let's put things into perspective for a second. When Mewtwo came back, and obviously his shiny form was back, I believe the specific Pokemon YouTuber has about 14 shiny Mewtwo's. Now, granted, he did like 90 raids. How are you able to complete 90 raids if you don't have a raid group? How are you going to go into a video and show that you have another shiny Mewtwo at like 7 o'clock at night, no one by you but you and a camera and a scooter, and saying, oh, look at what I just did, look at my hard work? Did you really do any hard work? No, you had 19 other people in your raid that spoofed from another location that helped you, and all you're doing is you're taking the spoils. I know I feel like I've made mention of this before, but with this specific Pokemon YouTuber, somebody that I've talked to in the past, somebody that I thought I could consider a friend, met him at one of the very first Mewtwo EX raids, and like, we started talking, we started exchanging ideas, I started giving him suggestions, and then one day, I had asked him if he was missing a specific Pokemon, if he was missing an unknown. I had a friend of mine who went up to Seattle, and there was a gaming convention over there that had 3 of the specific letters that spawned. Now, I asked him if he was missing any of those letters. He said he was missing one. I said, all right, cool. Hey, I have this one. It's from Seattle. My buddy, went up to Seattle, and they got him for me. He was like, oh, no, I don't take Pokemon from spoofers. Spoofers. I didn't change my location. I didn't mess with my game. I don't have a joystick on my game system or on my phone that allows me to move around and to actually allow me to go from stop to stop to catch these Pokemon. A friend of mine logged into my account after I was logged out of it for a day, played with the account for a day, logged out of it, I waited a day, I logged back into it. A lot of you were probably asking, what was the reason that I even had, or that I wanted all these Pokemon caught? It had nothing to do with me wanting to, exchange these for shiny Pokemon, or hell, even rare Pokemon. It was to help others that didn't have those specific letters, because unknowns don't spawn everywhere. Unknowns, are probably the one really, really rare exclusive to, like, really big Go Fests that, yeah, it doesn't spawn all the time. It spawns at Go Fest more so, but that's it. Pardon me, I've been sick. and he calls me a spoofer. Or he says he doesn't accept Pokemon for people that spoof. I'm like, alright, cool. I guess that's how it is. He had made a post on his Instagram talking about how he doesn't respect people that spoof. He also, at this point, had deleted me as a friend from the Pokemon Go game. And I'm guessing this was like a few days after this whole conversation. So I'm like, alright, cool. This guy's just being, I'm trying not to swear in this. But he's really turning this into something it doesn't need to be. So from somebody that says that they don't respect people that spoof, to use spoofers to get what they want, what kind of respect is that? Are you getting respect from these people? Do you know any of these people that are spoofing? Are you even really thinking about the fact that you're just as big a cheater as anybody else? Now, I will go on record, and I will put this out there right now, that when I go into the city and I see a raid, I'm going to hop into it. I'm not going to say that, oh, there's a 5-star raid that just popped. There's probably like 17 people in there. I'm not going to go into it because it doesn't feel right. No, I'm going to jump into it. The difference between myself and this specific Pokemon YouTuber is that I am not going to record myself doing this, especially during raid hours when this Pokemon will be, out in the open for an hour period where you can do as many raids as you can and as many gyms as you can. Is that fair? No, absolutely not. It's not fair. I think it's, completely disrespectful that you would go on a raid hour and you would go to the highest highs of all these gyms by yourself. Sure, you'll have a few, mindless cronies go with you because they think you're the coolest thing in the world because you probably have dropped like $1,000 or $2,000 on this game to do as many raids as you're doing. But really, you're doing it with a few people that you would not be able to complete these raids with. You have to rely, and you do rely, and I know you probably don't listen to my podcast, and you probably don't listen to my channel, and I don't really care. But you go out of your way to do this and to say that you earn these, that you deserve these. And when you went on a drought and you didn't get anything from these raids, you looked at it and you were just like, oh, man, that sucked. Man, this is the worst day ever. When you completed 20 raids, and you probably got other shinies before that, one specific raid session, and it's a failure and it's the worst day ever, I can't swear. Trying not to swear. Just go into a room by yourself. Okay? And also, let me get this off my chest. This also goes into the talk of a specific recent Pokemon Community Day that he had, where apparently when they did the whole spawn reshuffle and spawns changed so you weren't getting the exact same spawns all the time in the same locations and they were shuffled, he was talking about the clusters in the city and how, because I'm actually very curious if he deleted this comment or not. He went on to talk about how it was the worst community day he's ever had. No, he didn't delete it. But let me just read my comment. He got 11 total shinies on his community day. I said 11 shinies, and it was the worst. Let me see. I think I meant to say, not sure how that's bad. Just because you normally get 17 plus, this is considered bad. Some people don't even get one. Some people don't get spawns in their area. Some people don't have a stop that's close by. Some people don't have that many spawns around their area that it's that easy that all they have to do is open their game and they're home and get spawns that help them get as many shinies as they want during Community Day. But no, getting double digits on Community Day is a failure. It's the worst ever. And this is why I go and I literally dislike almost every video. Now, I know that gives him content. But I also do my best to bash him in the comments. Why? Because he feels he's all high and mighty. He wasn't the first to do this. He was just the one to do it the most. And also, let's put things into perspective. He's young 20-year-old, like in his 20s. He's old enough to do these things. What does he do for, like, a real job? He works at a place that's considered a museum that kids go to and visit. Is that a real job? Is that your career? Is that what you're going to do the rest of your life? Are you going to try and make Pokemon or YouTube your career? I don't think it's going to work for you. Also, a failed attempt at this, and I doubt he plays this anymore. He traveled all the way to Indiana for a Harry Potter event. A Harry Potter event when that game came out. He traveled all the way to Indiana to play this game with a whole bunch of other Harry Potter fanatics. People that are probably bigger fanatics than him. And he started posting videos about it, and then all of a sudden they stopped. Why? Because he wanted to join another fad and trying to eat off and leech off of it. I don't like people like that. Just like all the other Pokemon YouTubers. Do you see anybody else posting about it? No, because it's not popular. It's not what people want to see. Unless you're a dedicated Harry Potter person. Also, it irks me, and I know I'm going to stop talking about him in a second, but it also irks me when he starts talking about like new and upcoming Pokemon, and he doesn't even know the names. He doesn't know how to pronounce the names. Now, I've gone on record, and I've said that I've never, ever played through Generation 5 all the way. I have played Generation 5. I have watched walkthroughs of Generation 5. That goes back to Leroy. But I have never successfully beaten it myself. That being said, I know the Pokemon's names, and that goes back to me collecting the TCG. It irks me when somebody says, like, oh, what is that Pokemon? Oh, what's his name? I don't know his name, but I'm going to catch it. Does that make you a Pokemon fan? No. Makes you a Pokemon wannabe. Makes you a fan wannabe. A fanboy. Somebody who thinks that they know Pokemon and that they could teach other people Pokemon when they don't even know the damn name of the word himself. I'm getting heated. I know this is my my comeback for podcasting and stuff like that, but G-many, it irks me when people disrespect something that I've followed since it came out in the early 90s, or excuse me, mid-90s, I should say. Do not go into something unless you know what you're talking about. In this person's case, they don't know what they're talking about. He jumps into YouTube and starts going about this because he knows about Generation 1, he knows about Generation 2. Generation 3 is starting to be hazy. Generation 4 is even more hazy. And now Generation 5. Like, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to name his name because he doesn't deserve to be named on this channel. He's very disrespectful to the game. He's disrespectful to the brand. And anybody that watches him, if you know who I'm talking about, if you want to tell him that I'm being disrespectful, please, feel free. But don't sit there yourself and try and justify what he says when you know what I'm saying is true. If you do content because it's your passion, that's one thing. If you manipulate and you use others indirectly, I might add, like spoofers, and you use them for content to say that you were able to do something and reap the spoils, so that way that's another thing. I forgot to bring that up. To get all these shinies and then to hold on to them. For what reason? To get things that you don't have, that you can't get, because you don't go out there and hunt them yourself. Or you just hold on to them just so that way you can use them as a trophy to say, oh, look what I got. I caught all these. Great. Congratulations. What are you going to do with them? Are you going to give them to people that don't have them? Are you going to trade them to friends, quote-unquote best friends, that you have coveted so many of that you've probably deleted some? Or are you just going to hold on to them as trophies? Also, this is the same guy who, one of my best friends, Jerry, they were one day away from being best friends. They were one day away from being best friends. Jerry has sent out his gift. And for almost 3 months, this guy sat on his gift. Never opening it. Never acknowledging. Nothing. Jerry deleted him. Why? Because it was a waste of his time to hold on to this specific gift. It was worthless for him to even consider that this person was going to, eventually be his best friend. Was he ever going to hang out with him in the city? Probably not. I don't know how to describe this. But he just does things the wrong way. And he rubs people the wrong way, and he makes enemies. Not going to say I'm an enemy of his, and I'm not going to start bashing it. Well, I am bashing him. But I'm not going to ever find him in public and start berating him. But if our paths ever cross, if he ever tries to say what's up to me, I'm just going to look at him and be like, oh, so we're cool? Because this is not how things went down. And at that point, I'll start recording it so that way I can get his words on video. And I will use that as content. So, my final thoughts. Somebody had posed the question to me. Somebody that follows Pokemon as much as I do at work asked me, where do I see Pokemon going for the year 2020? Obviously, the sky's the limit. I mean, we've already got a brand new game in Sword and Shield that has been doing great. We have a new TCG that's going to be debuting in February, the Sword and Shield base set. That one's going to be very difficult for me because, again, I haven't followed any of the game. I have not watched any Let's Plays of it. Am I buying a Switch anytime soon? Nope. Yeah, I don't know how well that's going to go over. I may only open a few of the things if I do pack openings on this channel. Hell, I might not open any of them. Who knows? What I will say is that when it comes to what I'm going to be doing as content from going forward, I'm going to be doing a lot of podcasts like this. I'm going to be doing maybe a few live streams when I do Pokemon Go. I might be doing a live stream a little bit later tonight, before or after this recording goes up. So just know, any of you that have stayed as subscribers, I thank you. Anybody that is going to be a new subscriber, welcome. I will not waste your time with this. And yeah, just, stay tuned. If I do ever happen to go over and live stream or go onto another platform for recordings, just know that I will be here to let you know what's going on, so that way everyone's in the loop. And that's pretty much it for this episode of The Gear Grind. And I do want to thank you guys for coming out and checking out today's video. If you guys did happen to enjoy this podcast, please make sure that you smash that like button down below, showing your support for the channel. Comment down below on any thoughts that you may have about what I have said. And above all else, do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon TCG Let's Play and other random videos. But with that, I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for staying true and staying through while I've been absent and gone. And I will see you guys in the next video. I have been Anthony. You guys have been the best part of the Primal Crew. And I will catch you guys next time. And as always, thank you all so much for your support. And take it easy.